So Logan Paul, wait a minute. I forgot most of the people watching this channel are smart, decent human beings. Let me explain first who Logan Paul is. Logan Paul is a huge, and I mean huge, YouTube star, a big-time celebrity in the YouTube game. He's a vlogger. He just does a video every day of his lifestyle, which has attracted somehow over 15 million people to his channel, subscribers, not just views. 15 million subscribers, and has made him about $12.5 million. I believe he's 22 right now, from Ohio. This is him. But he made a video today that may be arguably the worst and most controversial YouTube video of all time, and apologize for it, which we'll get into. But I just want to kind of get into the video because I'm sure it's going to be all over the news, and I'm here to abreast you on the situation. So Logan Paul goes to Japan, right? He decides to go to this place called the Suicide Forest, which is a cultural thing in Japan. Is a forest which, aptly named, people go there and commit suicide. And it's one of these places where people believe it's haunted. People believe it's Bermuda Triangle type stuff, right? Bad type stuff. Bad things go on in the Suicide Forest. Who would have thunk it? They could have told me that at the visitor center. So Logan Paul goes there with his cronies and a camera and says, we're going to get in here. We're going to go to the Suicide Forest, and we may find a dead body. Again, because it's called the Suicide Forest. So Logan goes in there looking like an absolute jackass with the Toy Story monster hat on, Gucci jacket. We're not going to show any of the video here because we're not going to promote this. We're just going to flame it, and that's about it. But he goes in there, and they find a guy hanging, a Japanese man hanging from a tree who had killed himself. And this is all real. It's all in the woods. Like, this is just here, right? It's kind of set. I'm going to have some screen grabs, I guess, on here, but it kind of looks like a Blair Witch Project video. They're out in the woods, and the guy is just hanging there. And you can hear them in the video saying, oh my God, there's someone hanging. Like, I think he just did this. His hands are purple. Like, they are filming this dead body really close, like about a foot away. And, they're standing next to it. They're talking about it, and they're joking and kind of laughing. And, it's a really awkward thing because now the viewer is forced to be face-to-face with this dead body. And for a lot of Logan Paul's viewers, they're probably 12 to 15 years old, maybe even younger, probably 9 to 15 years old, and they're staring at a dead body from a guy who hung himself. It's not like he got in a car accident. He killed himself. And suicide and mental illness is something that's really, really serious and really delicate and really complex, especially for a young kid or child to understand. That alone is awful, right? That alone is terrible. So Logan, they kind of make some jokes, kind of crack some jokes, a little laughy. And at one point, one of the girls says, I think I'm going to be sick. And he says, what, you've never been next to a dead body? And they're filming him. And this guy's in there. You could argue he's like the co-star of the video. He's there. So the problem with the video, obviously, is that they used a man who killed himself basically as a prop. They used him as a way to get views, a way to get something in the video that's interesting, that people will see, that's clickbaity, that's shock value, however you want to put it. They're using a dead body of a man who committed suicide in a YouTube vlog for a guy that has 15 million subscribers, who daily has more viewers than any show on ESPN, comparable with like Monday Night Football. He basically has the viewership of Monday Night Football every single day. Now, Logan did issue an apology, and the apology was terrible. The apology basically said, look, I didn't do this to get views. I already get views. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, James, let's not be ridiculous. He didn't say that. Oh, he actually did say that. Here's his apology right here. He actually says, I didn't do this to get views. I get views. Which, if you take those two sentences and point them at each other, they combust because they're the same thing. You can't get views without making videos to get views. So yes, Logan, you did make this video to get views, since you do get views. But that's part of the problem, right? So Logan Paul could have deleted this video, could have cut that part out, could have, instead of showing the dead body, he could have sat on the edge of his bed and said, look, guys, I saw some really tough stuff today. It was really graphic. It was really real. It really hurt me. It really touched me. I want to talk about mental health and mental wellness. Boom! Wow, that would have been way better. Actually, that probably would have been promoted, probably would have been a huge positive spin on a terrible situation instead of what he actually did do. So a lot of people are pointing at that he laughed in the woods when he saw the body. They were cracking jokes. And that part to me actually isn't that big of a deal because people do handle stuff in different ways. You know, people do laugh in inappropriate times. People do use humor to cope. People do, you know, those saying cracking jokes at a funeral or whatever. People do that. The issue, though, is that on a YouTube video, you don't just film it and then, like, rub a lamp and it posts to YouTube. You have to go home, put the footage on your computer, edit it, which takes hours. Let's just say 1 hour. We'll just be nice. 1 hour, which probably takes around 2, maybe even more. 1 hour, so he's sitting there, or whoever edits the videos, and he's editing each frame to put into his video. He's layering music in there. He's using jump cuts. He's doing whatever he wants to do, transitions. You know how it is. And the whole time, he's staring at this dead body. So it's not like, oh, well, he was pretty shocked in the forest, so you got to cut him a break. Yeah, but wasn't he also shocked when he was editing? I mean, I've edited 10-minute videos that have taken me 4 hours to edit. You know, I've edited 30-minute videos. You know, I've edited long videos. And I know how you have to look at every single cut over and over and over. And I couldn't imagine if I'm sitting in my house, in my front of my computer, and the whole time I'm doing it, it's with a dead guy. Like at some point in that moment is when Logan should have said, you know, this is kind of weird. Like it was really shocking back then, but now I've kind of settled down. I've kind of assessed the situation, and now I'm staring at all this footage, and maybe there's a different way to go about this. And you would hope that someone in his group would say, maybe there's a different way to go about this. The real problem isn't the video or what he did in the video. The issue is that he is so, and people just like him, he's not the only one. People are so desensitized to death and to pain and to humanity, really. Not even to death, but just to human life. That for him, in that moment, when something happened to him and he saw this body, which I 100% believe was shocking, right? He had to be shocked. He had to feel emotion. Instead of the emotion being, oh my God, there's a dead body right there who just died, who killed himself, his emotion was, oh my God, there's a dead body there. This would get a ton of views. Instead of being touched or hurt or feeling an emotion on a human level, he felt the emotion on a business level, on a, well, how can I spin this to get views? How can I spin this to get likes? How can I spin this to push my merchandise? And you're going to say, well, James, he didn't push his merchandise. Well, actually, in the apology video, in the tags, he literally pushed his merchandise in an apology video about suicide. But that is the world we live in. The world we live in now, you don't live for you. You live for someone else. So when you go to a concert or an event and you're having the time of your life, instead of you reflecting and saying, you know what, I'm having a really good time right now, your first thought is, I have to record this. I have to take a picture of this because I want other people to see how much fun I'm having. That's the problem. That's what Logan Paul, that's what this video reflects. It reflects the idea that people's lives are now not their own. People's lives are for the taking. People's lives are to share. And there's no more human value. The value of a life is nothing now. The value of a wedding is, well, if we take pictures of this wedding, we're going to get some serious likes. The value of the suicide is, well, if we take a video of the suicide, it's going to be all over YouTube. You know, when something good or bad happens to someone nowadays, the immediate response is to share it, to use that in a way to gain. I do want to share a story because I can kind of connect with this. Back in the day, I worked as a reporter for a newspaper, and I covered a crime beat. And when I covered the crime beat, there's a lot of stories that you get that are, you know, someone died in a gunfight, someone got stabbed to death, someone died in a DUI, a car accident, a lot of bad stuff. And, you know, when I first started going, it really affected me, you know, to see dead bodies and to make news out of someone's worst day of their life really, really affected me. And it really made me question what I was doing. And I had just got out of college, took the first job I could, you know. I wasn't super passionate about it anyways. And one of my last couple of weeks, there was a car accident with 2 kids. brother and sister in junior high school. I believe they were like 12 and 14, something like that. And I remember my editor at the time asked me to call the house. This was about 2 hours after the car accident. And, I have a little sister, and I have, a relationship with my mother and my father. And I just thought about if me and my sister were to die in a car accident, the shock and the pain that they would feel, and then to have the phone ring in the house, and to have somebody you've never met before, someone you've never talked to before, call you in your worst moment of your life, the most unfathomable pain you could ever feel. And what they say to you is, hey, this is blah, blah, blah. Do you want to talk about your kids dying? And I thought about that's so awful. I don't want to be that person. I don't want to do that. I'm not going to do that. And so I declined to do it. I said, I'm not going to do that. You find somebody else. I'm not calling this house. I don't want to talk to the parents. If they want to talk, I don't want to talk to them. Right? Because I wouldn't want to talk to somebody if I just lost my sister, or if my parents died in a car accident and a reporter called me, or if someone stuck a camera in my face, or someone, shared that moment with the public. And that's what happened to this guy hanging in the forest with Logan. He didn't get a choice. He went to this forest to do the unspeakable. He went to end his life because he was in such a bad place that he felt like this was the only way out. And to have someone wearing a Toy Story Monsters hat, laughing and cracking jokes and pointing a camera as you hang there, is unbelievable that someone can be so cruel and someone can think so little about human life. And I don't know if it's an egotistical thing. I don't know if he thinks he's so above other people that he can do this, or if he's just so blinded by the numbers, so blinded by likes and clicks and views and trending and all that stuff. And I'm not sitting here saying to turn off your phones. I'm not sitting here saying don't watch YouTube, don't do Twitter, don't do Facebook. I enjoy all that stuff. But it is moments like this when you have to sit back and you have to say, how much of a human am I still? You got to look in the mirror and say, would I have done that? Instead of Logan getting backlash from other people, I think he needs to get backlash from himself. I think he needs to look in the mirror and say, Logan, brother, what happened? What happened to you? What happened to us? I'm 22. A 22-year-old shouldn't do this. And as someone who's been in places like that with dead bodies and seen the families and seen the hurt, and as someone who has turned down, who has said, I'm not doing that. I can go ahead and tell you Logan Paul will wrestle with this for the rest of his life.